How to Summon Annabelle. Imagine you're in a room where the air is thick with an eerie silence, and you're about to uncover the secrets of one of the most infamous haunted dolls in history. But here's the thing. Summoning Annabelle isn't something you should attempt lightly, or at all, for that matter. First, let's clarify that Annabelle isn't a spirit you can summon through some ritual or spell. The real Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll that was once a gift to a nursing student named Donna. This doll became notorious for its alleged hauntings, which were investigated by paranormal experts Ed and Lorraine Warren. The story goes that, after the doll arrived at Donna's apartment, strange things began to happen. The doll would move on its own, and written messages would appear. A medium was called in and claimed that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a little girl named Annabelle, who had died on the land where the apartment was built. However, the Warrens later concluded that Annabelle was not possessed by a little girl's spirit but was instead manipulated by demonic forces. These forces were using the doll as a vessel to eventually possess a human host. There's no ritual or spell that can summon Annabelle because she's not a spirit that can be called upon. Instead, she's a doll that's been locked away in a glass case at the Warrens Museum to prevent any further harm. So, if you're curious about Annabelle, it's best to learn from the true stories and the investigations of the Warrens rather than attempting to summon something that could potentially be very dangerous. How to summon Annabelle. Have you ever wondered what it would take to bring a piece of horror history into your world? Let's talk about Annabelle, but first, a warning. This isn't a how-to guide for summoning anything. It's more about understanding the real story behind this infamous doll. Annabelle is a Raggedy Ann doll with a simple fabric face and floppy limbs, far from the creepy porcelain doll depicted in movies. The real story begins with a mother gifting this doll to her daughter, Donna, a nursing student. Shortly after, Donna and her roommate started noticing strange movements and written messages. A medium was consulted, and the story emerged that the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a little girl named Annabelle. However, this spirit wasn't what it seemed. The Warrens, who later took possession of the doll, believed it was actually manipulated by demonic forces. There's no ritual or spell to summon Annabelle because she's not a spirit to be called. The doll is now locked away in a glass case, and that's where it should stay. If you're fascinated by Annabelle, it's better to learn from the true accounts rather than risking anything dangerous. How to summon Annabelle. Ever been intrigued by the darker side of paranormal stories? Let's dive into the tale of Annabelle, but remember, this isn't about summoning anything. It's about understanding the facts. Annabelle is just a Raggedy Ann doll, but its history is anything but ordinary. Given as a gift to a nursing student named Donna, the doll quickly became a source of fear. It would move on its own, and strange messages would appear. A medium's investigation suggested the doll was inhabited by a little girl's spirit, but the Warrens, who later took the doll, believed it was actually a vessel for demonic forces. There's no way to summon Annabelle because she's not a spirit to be called. The doll is safely locked away, and that's where it should remain. If you're curious about Annabelle, stick to the true stories and avoid any dangerous attempts to summon something that's best left alone.